Hi, y'all. Mark Charpentier here, Chappie, and you're watching Chappie's Wildlife Solutions. What a busy year we had this year. Actually, trapped 4 different states. Predator control down south. We started out in Nebraska this year. Rancher friend of mine in the Sandhills of Nebraska gave me a call, and they were having some issues with coyotes. I just so happened to be up there archery hunting white-tailed deer in the Sandhills, and she gave me a call and said they had a lot of coyotes around, and some of their show calves had some tails shoot. So we got over there and got some coyotes killed, starting there. From there, we headed up to Wyoming. Spent my usual time back home through the winter. Coyotes, cats. It was a pretty good trip. Everybody's loving these cat prices. Don't have a real good population on my Wyoming line right now of cats on those ranches, but I was able to get down on some higher rabbit population areas and was able to put together a few cats this year while I was out west. But the prices are just phenomenal. I think it surprised everybody. So let's hope that stuff holds up. Once I finished up there, ended up back east around the holidays and visited family. Ran my usual lines here. Did some water trapping for about a month, and put up a bunch of mink, which very happy ended up doing that. All the signs were looking at a better mink market, and I think that it probably surprised a lot how good it actually did get. But we put up a nice lot of rats and mink and beaver and handful of otters, and I got to spend some good quality time and enjoyed it with a buddy of mine, Mike, and we had a lot of fun on the line. From there, had a paid job, predator control work down in Kansas on deer hunting properties, and a friend of mine from Ohio, Will, went down on that trip with me. We're supposed to go to Mississippi. Bad storms. They got hit really hard at the time period we were supposed to head down there with some ice storms. So we ended up sliding into the job I had in Kansas, and Will went there with me. So it worked out really good. We put a beat down on them. They had quite a few coyotes there in that location. A lot of agricultural area there, creek bottoms, hills, a lot of wooded terrain. Not really the conventional feedlot, flat ground trapping you would think of necessarily in Kansas, but still a lot of animals there, and I don't remember the exact numbers. I think we averaged like 8 a day in there. So did that, and then from there I actually headed up back to New York briefly for a reset. Full intent was to head back to Wyoming, spend the rest of my time back home there and getting some stuff done. And then some more jobs came through, and me and Poncho headed back to Kansas and worked a couple more jobs in Kansas this spring. March into late April. Mid-April we worked those, and while I was in there I picked up another one down in Oklahoma and followed right into that from the Kansas job. So I've pretty much been on coyotes all winter this year, staying pretty busy with those. We finished up there and I was able to get back to Wyoming for a while, and had some friends actually flew in. They were turkey hunters. I don't do much of that, but they wanted to fly in and chase some Merriam's birds around, so that's what they did. Well, I was doing a little bit of more trapping in Wyoming and working on some stuff around the house and projects that I've been meaning to get to. So very, very busy year. And if that wasn't busy enough, we decided, you know what, let's see how much busier it got. So some projects that I've been working on are finally came to fruition. We got full production now into our trap bags, and this is really the official release. I know there's been some talk around out and about there already. People had known about it, and I do have quite a few already reserved now. We have decided that we are going to go ahead and do mail order on these products. My daughter, we're actually getting ready to have our first grandchild, so I'm tied a little bit here as we're expecting her here very shortly, but she's going to be handling the mail order end of this. I couldn't commit to it just because of my trapping. Pretty much scheduled out to about 4 or 5 months of trapping now throughout the year doing control work around the country. So I just can't commit, and I don't want anybody out there having to wait for their products to come in that long. So some of the products, some of my stuff I'm not doing mail order. None of my lures or baits are going to be mail order. The only way you can get those are directly from me at a convention or at the house in New York or my house in Wyoming. Those are the only places you'll be get those lures. I do not have any intent of mail ordering these. They won't be wholesaled. I only do small batches every year. And, just a few dozen of each every year. So I'm just not looking to get into that lure bait industry like that and, be trying to pump all that stuff out. So just small, really quality stuff that I use a lot on my own line, and I'm offering in small batches that you can get from me at conventions. So if anybody wants stuff like that, you can always send me a private message, or you can give me a phone call on my cell too, my business phone, 307-391-9007. So let's go over a couple of the things that are happening. So the bags are out. We've been working on this for over a year now, I think. I had an idea of what I wanted. I've used different bags in the past. I've used the Montana bag. I've used the Wiser bag in the past, and this bag is similar attributes to those. They've had some changes made to them that I personally looked for in the bag that I wanted, that was just a little something extra that I thought would make the bag a little bit better. I went with about the heaviest material I could get. It's a coated vinyl fabric that's super heavy duty. And so right here, this is the standard bag. It actually comes in 2 sizes. You have, anybody that's familiar with these bags will already kind of have an idea, but if you aren't, it kind of sits up almost like a 5-gallon bucket. And what we've done is put pockets on the outside. There's enough here for 2 baits to go in the bait holder. There's a grommet hole put in the bottom of this to make sure water and extra dirt and stuff like that kind of works its way out of your bag. I then put in 4 pockets that'll hold 4-ounce lures on there, and then 2 that you can actually put pint bottles for urine or any of your squirtable lures that you like to use. And then on this bag, I added the addition of a couple 1-ounce holders for the pockets here. What I've done too is made sure, like some of the bags, the pockets were just too tight, and you really had to, really hard to get some of them out of there. They were just a touch too deep, and they were just too tight. So I made sure that it's still going to have good retention, keeping your lure in the bag, but I want to be able to get in there really easy and get my fingers in and out of that and grab those. So there's enough room in there that you can accomplish that. Everything right here is all double stitched. One of the problems we had constantly was the bag wanting to kind of collapse. So what we did is we actually double over hemmed it, making it even thicker around the top, and then did a double stitching around the top, giving it an even stiffer rim around the outside. A lot of people using drivers, probably the majority anymore. And one thing you had was this happening. All this going on. Well, for a while I've been wanting a spot to put drivers. There's a pocket. It's built inside. It goes all the way up the inside of the bag from the bottom, short to about 1 inch of the top, giving you enough room to drop your driver in, so it's not in here falling over and trying to drag this bag around and flop itself over. So it made it a lot more sturdy. It's pretty tight in the standard bag. I like a lot of times carry a small bucket with wax dirt and a sifter. Internally, you have a pocket inside. It has room in there for any small accessories, and it was made to fit screen covers. So you're able to actually put your screen covers right on the inside of this. Just like so. And that'll keep your screen covers very easily accessible without getting them all bent up. The bottom of the bag also has a grommet, so water can drain out the bottom. You can take your stuff out of this bag, take the garden hose, wash it off quick, let it dry out, and you'll be good to go. The handles were made really heavy duty. We actually used, this is actually seatbelt material made for automobiles. So we use that, and then they're double stitched in here. And then we also allowed for some D-rings, so you have the ability to add a shoulder harness if you'd like for carrying it. Those are available also from us, or you can just buy those just about anywhere, and you can find one that fits you the best and just clip it on. So it gives you that option. Here on the outside as well, we also have a sleeve, so you have a place to go with a bait knife. That'll fit up to about a 1-inch bait knife, so if you want something that's bigger or longer, you know, you'll have no problem. And that pocket is 8 inches deep down into there, so you'll be able to retain it in there good and have yourself a good way to apply your bait. So this is Chapsy's bucket bag. This is the standard size. We also had requests for people that are a little bit closer to the vehicle and they wanted one just slightly bigger. It's not really taller, but it's bigger in diameter. This has dual pockets on the inside. The concept here is that a lot of guys were just wanting more room. They're using drills, they've got drill bits in here, they got batteries, they're working really close to the vehicle or the side-by-side, and they didn't mind having a little bit larger bag just to have more stuff in there. So, you know, I think for me, a lot of mine, I'm probably going to continue to work out of the standard bag. I'm not a drill user guy, but I can see with this bag that, you know, it definitely has its attributes as well. All the other same features except the addition of an extra pocket on the inside. All the same orientation of your bait and lure pockets. Still has your tall single pocket to hold your drivers. And yeah, I think that I really made this a personal bag that fits me, and it's, you know, and the things that Wendy also liked, and we kind of incorporated it all in this and made it our own, and we think it's just going to be a really good product. So, you know, part of the delay was getting this made in the United States, which was very, very important to me. I didn't want to manufacture this overseas. So this is made right here in the United States, and we intend to keep it that way. Also, if you have any problems with the bag, all right, you can get them back to me. I guarantee that bag for a year. There should be no problem with any of the workmanship or anything in that. So we're going to stand behind those, and I think everybody's going to be really happy. I mean, I've loved it so far, so we'll see how those go. If anybody's interested, again, we are going to start taking pre-orders on these bags. You can send me a private message through Facebook Messenger. Or you can send me an email, trappermark69@gmail.com. Again, that's trappermark69@gmail.com, and my work phone number is 307-391-9007, and we'll start getting we do have a bunch of those in stock already, and we should have them at our table at the first show, which we'll go to. We'll be in Meadville, Pennsylvania this year. So I'll be down there in Meadville. I'm doing a Fisher demo for that show. But we will have bags in stock. If anybody's wanting to pre-order and get their name on one before we come down, just hit me up through a PM or a phone call. Then the other project that's taken about the same amount of time to make happen is my own personal chaps. Similar to some of the chaps I've worn in the past, but I wanted to make a few little changes that worked out good for me. I did not like the big pockets with these big bulky knee pads and everything and trying to fit them in there, and I did want them. I just still wanted the concept of that in there, but I just didn't like that. And so what we've ended up doing is kind of designing our own chaps off of a double-sided material here. Super water repellent. These aren't completely waterproof all the way, but what I've done is into the knees between the layers of the material, I've had neoprene sewn in to the knees so it's fixed and it's in position. So when you kneel down, you're actually kneeling down on this neoprene. And then that neoprene is also giving us a waterproof layer where your knees are. And that's the spot that always got wet when I'm kneeling down making my sets. So This has been, it's just the right thickness. It keeps those sharp rocks and stuff from poking you in your knees, yet it's not so bulky that you're sitting there fighting a big knee pad or something wrapped around you going around. So, and then also very heavy buckles, none of the little plastic snap clips or anything like that. I mean, real leather, heavy buckles, really quality made. So this is a product we're starting to take pre-orders on now. Those will not be available probably till about, first shipment probably about midsummer. So I do not believe that I will have these with me for the first show or two. But again, we can pre-order these. They come in 4 different sizes. If you're interested, just hit me up and we'll get your size figured out based on, you know, how tall you are and your body build, and make sure that they fit you right. They're just comfortable, well made, and you know, it's something you want to just be on, just like putting your pants on every day. So that's where we're headed with these. So yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff for this summer. And I look forward to seeing a lot of you on the shows upcoming. And I think right there we'll sign out. So thank you all.